So today I'll be comparing the cost of living in Toronto and Winnipeg. Hi, my name is Ben. I'm at Keller Williams Real Estate Office. If this is the first time on this channel and you want to know about living, investing, sleeping, working, waking in Winnipeg, Manitoba, make sure you click on the subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified anytime we do a new video. Now, if you're planning on moving to Winnipeg, give us a call, send us a text, send us an email, however you want to get to us, because we got your back in moving to Winnipeg. Now today I'll be comparing the cost of living in Winnipeg and Toronto to see what city is kind of expensive to live in. So let's dive into the video. So according to rentaboard.ca, we can see that a studio apartment in Winnipeg is going for an average sum of $1,078 with a minimum price of $650 and a maximum price of $1,650, compared to Toronto, where a studio will cost around $1,663 with a minimum of $1,170 and a maximum of $3,250. Now basically a Winnipeg 2-bedroom apartment is going for around $1,449 and the minimum will be around $775. The maximum is quite a leap at about $3,800. Let's compare that to that of Toronto. Now for Toronto, the average price of a 2-bedroom is $2,516, as a minimum of $1,492 and a maximum of $5,000. So you could see from the statistics that it's quite on the high side in Toronto to live. It's quite cheaper when it comes to rent in Winnipeg than we have in Toronto. And it's common logic to know that Toronto basically is a big city. It's a very commercial city, as we all know, in Canada. So it's expected for the rent over there to be higher than what we have in Winnipeg, and that is why living in Winnipeg is quite a little bit conservative. And the second is the buses, transportation. Now in Winnipeg, basically when it comes to transportation, it's a little bit quite cheaper than Toronto. Now the average bus ticket is around $3 in Winnipeg, and quite a little bit cheaper for seniors and students. But in Toronto, it's just quite higher than what we have in Winnipeg. It's $3.25. Now the third thing is the food. Now Winnipeg is also known to have it cheaper when it comes to food. The same restaurant you go to in Toronto and the same one you go to in Winnipeg, with different it's going to be you're going to be having different prices. Now for the one in Toronto, in Winnipeg, in McDonald's, when you go to McDonald's, the combo in McDonald's, which is the cost of probably $10, the same McDonald's you go in Winnipeg that will cost you $10 for a combo will cost you almost $11.50 in Toronto. So you can see the difference between the peg. So that even when you talk about the groceries, it's quite higher in Winnipeg. It's quite higher in Toronto rather than Winnipeg. So there's a more cost accruing when you live in Toronto than what we have in Winnipeg. So now also the same meal that you have to take in Winnipeg that's going to cost you $30 will cost you an average of $40 in Toronto. So it's a two different cost of living for the two cities. One is quite higher when it comes to food, which is Toronto, while Winnipeg is quite cheaper. So that is the third thing we'll be looking at. So now the fourth, the movies. Now the to go to a theater to watch a movie in Winnipeg will cost you an average of $13. The same the same theater to watch a movie in Toronto will cost you an average of $15. So there's you could see from everything we discussed that things are always more expensive in Toronto than we have in Winnipeg. So let's talk about the museum. Now, the museum in Winnipeg is known as the Winnipeg Museum for Human Rights, and it costs about $18 for an adult age between 18 to 64 years, with a discount for students at $14. The Winnipeg holds the second largest North American festival, holds the event in Winnipeg. So that's basically for that. So the arts of Winnipeg is a very thriving one. Now for Toronto, now the biggest museum in Toronto is the Royal Ontario Museum. Now the Royal Ontario Museum cost to go check out the art gallery in the Royal Ontario Museum will cost an adult $23, and for students it's definitely going to cost $18. So basically you could see from these two that from Toronto is quite a little bit higher. Basically the summary of the cost between the two cities. So we could see conclusively that Winnipeg is more Toronto is more expensive to live in than Winnipeg. So comparing the two, you could see the cost of living between the two cities. So if you're planning on moving to Winnipeg, give us a call, send us a text, send us an email, however you want to get to us, because we got your back in moving to Winnipeg. And on to the next video. I'll catch you later.